What's up, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and none of the above? This is DL returning to you with more KSL Sinnoh Melee content. Today we'll be covering the game between JG and LucasB. So JG's got the big Firewater Grass core with the Suicune, Shaman, Entei, as well as the Espeon, Steelix, Hariyama, Raichu, Muck, and Vespiquen, whereas Lucas has the team of the Swampert, Zelf, Roserade, Abomasnow, Feraligatr, Magneton, Hitmonlee, Linoone, and Altaria. So looking at this matchup, I think the Suicune actually is going to have a fairly difficult time in this matchup. Roserade is quite good against Suicune because of being a grass type that is immune to Toxic, and there's no Scald in this generation either, so it can't really status Roserade effectively, and Roserade has pretty decent special defense. But the thing is, the Calm Mindset from the Suicune could be fairly effective against that. But in conjunction with the threat of a potential Wood Hammer Abomasnow, this is a grass type hitting on the physical side, especially without Scald doesn't exist until Generation 5, so there's no threat of Suicune burning a physical grass type, which is an archetype that usually matches up well against a Calm Mind special defense boosting water type. The physical grass in Abomasnow also, in conjunction with Roserade, does well to deter a lot of Suicune sets. And the Abomasnow, I think, is definitely a highlight for Lucas in this matchup, with the Steel type also being part ground and having somewhat lackluster base special defense. The combination of Blizzard, Wood Hammer, Earthquake, Ice Shard, those moves really go to town against JG's team. Able to hit both of his top two mons with super effective stab moves. Strong priority to pick off weakened Shamans and Espeons and Raichus and such, and there's really not great resists on JG's team to Abomasnow stabs. The main one obviously is Entei, but Entei being weak to rocks and JG not having any hazard removal on his team is really going to make Abomasnow look like a massive threat in this matchup, and I'll be very surprised if Lucas does not bring it here. Especially with the Hail Chip being able to neutralize stuff like the Suicune and Steelix's recovery, as well as cutting down Shaman synthesis healing as well. Abomasnow also being immune to Leech Seed, just a fantastic matchup for the Christmas tree here. Alternatively, is a very difficult matchup for Feraligatr, with Suicune and Shaman both being very, very tanky. But depending on the matchup, he could try to exploit the Suicune, since the Suicune, similarly, since they're both pure water types, can't really hit the Feraligatr that well either, but Suicune's natural bulk obviously is far, far better. I don't think there's really any reason to bring Magneton when the opposing Steel type is also a ground type. Hitmonlee has a pretty good matchup here. JG's really lacking in solid fighting resist. It's like Vespiquen and Muck, and Espeon, which is very frail, and Vespiquen and Muck are not very good Pokemon. Roserade, as we mentioned, has a really good matchup, similar to Abomasnow, where JG doesn't have the best resists because his Steel being part ground is really, really bad against these grass types because his Steel doesn't resist grass, and as you mentioned, it doesn't resist ice either for the Abomasnow. The combination of grass and poison stab hits Suicune, hits Shaman, the big two. And I think you do want to counter draft the top Pokemon really heavily in this format, because a lot of the lower tiers are really not as big of threats. And so I think Lucas has a really strong matchup here with his double grass core. I think is a really good matchup, and Pokemon like the Swampert should be able to hold Entei at bay for quite a long time, since Swampert has excellent physical defense. I'd expect if Entei does come, which it likely will because of the utility that its defensive typing actually brings here, I would expect an HP Grass tech to be brought on potential mixed Entei to try to deal with the Swampert. A Zelf, also great. There's no Dark type on the opposing team. Steelix doesn't have great special defense, so something like a Fire Blast to Zelf, assuming he doesn't miss 2 out of 3 Fire Blasts, should be very effective in this matchup. Excellent speed tier. I think Lucas just has a really good draft. He could honestly bring these 4 plus Hitmonlee, and then whatever else he wants to bring. And I think his offense matches up very, very well against JG's draft. As far as threats on JG's side go, Espeon is definitely a moneymaker here. There's no Dark type on Lucas's draft either. the only psychic resists are a Zelf, which is quite frail, and the Magneton, which is not very bulky either, especially without Eviolite existing in this generation. So I think the Espeon looks very, very good. Able to force out threats like the Roserade in particular is a big thing to watch out for, as well as the Hitmonlee. So definitely expecting that to come. The Hariyama also has a really good matchup here. I'd say similarly, not a lot of great fighting resists on the team. You're looking at Pokemon like a Zelf and Roserade, which are quite frail, so Hariyama is going to hit them really, really hard, even without knockoff being very strong this generation. And Hariyama just having great natural bulk matches up well into the archetype that Lucas has. Because Lucas has kind of like a bulky offense, and Hariyama wants to take the hit and then trade by hitting you super hard. And I think that works very well against a lot of the Pokemon in Lucas's team, where Hariyama is going to live, a few hits and just get off a ton of damage. And the priority that it brings with Bullet Punch could be very, very clutch into Pokemon like the Abomasnow. I don't know if Hariyama even gets Thick Fat this generation, but that also is a perk for it against the Christmas tree. That might be JG's sort of saving grace in this matchup. Other than that, I think that Lucas definitely has the matchup advantage against JG. So without any further ado, let's get into the game. So we got Lucas here and JG here. So you can see the Roserade lead against the Espeon. So he goes for Magic Coat, predicting the Sleep Powder, but it misses. So he goes for it again on the Sludge Bomb, which crits and kills him. Okay, that's unfortunate, but I don't know. I don't think that clicking Magic Coat again was a very good play, considering he had just revealed it. So there's the Fake Out, gets off a ton of damage. We mentioned Hariyama's ability to bring priority, kind of overlooked the Fake Out that did a ton of damage there. So you see the Lumberry on the Steelix able to get up rocks, but the T-Spikes are up. As you mentioned, JG does not have hazard removal on his team, so we talked about how good Roserade was offensively here, but this is a pretty strictly lead. This is a lead-oriented Roserade. The Toxic Spike's gonna be great. Sure, Shaymin's gonna be able to natural cure it, but it's gonna be re-poisoned every time it comes in because JG can't get rid of them. But Hariyama does have guts, so that is one thing to look out for. But it could be very well be Thick Fat in this matchup if he's really scared of the Abomasnow. Yeah, I mean, if we talk about how Roserade only really needs the dual stab, so it makes sense to carry the double utility moves, and he's really getting a ton of value out of it. But he just lets it go down to the Shaymin Psychic here, so that's unfortunate. So what this tells me is that this Roserade is designed to help facilitate some other win condition on his team, as he catches the Steelix on the switch with the Flamethrower and gets the favorable rolls here. I mean, this is looking great for Lucas. He's traded off the Roserade for the Espeon, which we mentioned was JG's probably biggest offensive threat here, as well as the Steelix, which is kind of his defensive backbone. And he's also gotten up the Toxic Spike. So here comes in the Raichu, going to be able to tank the Flamethrower comfortably and pick off this Altaria with an HP Ice. So it is nice, but he's HP Ice, not HP Grass, so Swampert is going to be very annoying for this Raichu. The Raichu can't touch the Swampert, so that'll be very good information for Lucas to operate off of. Sends in the Magneton, predicting the Fake Out there, I suppose, because close combat would have been the other move to go for and would have caught the Magneton. So I kind of disagree with this choice, especially considering you're poisoned. I don't think that extra turns really favor Hariyama here, even with the Fake Out chip. I think just going for close combat here is way better, and would have obviously killed the Magneton. Yeah, he's just gonna die to the Flash Cannon. So there goes the Hariyama. So this Shaymin does get Earth Power, so that'll pick off the Magneton. And that is the one thing, is with him having let the Altaria go down, the Shaymin is looking very, very strong here. We'll see what his last two mons are, but obviously, barring a Rindo Berry, Swampert shouldn't be able to do much against this Shaymin. But he does still have the Azelf, and the Shaymin is pretty weak. Here comes in the Entei. as screens on the Azelf, so that makes me think this is potentially a Linoon in the back. So he gets up to reflect. And then he explodes. So yeah, he's definitely playing around with win condition, and it is the Linoon. So definitely expecting just a belly drum here, and then for him to try to clean up. So we'll see if the Shaman crits here through the screens. And he doesn't even need to crit, he just kills him. And Shaman's gonna pick up this kill as well. Really wild game. It felt like Lucas definitely had the advantage early on, but I think he threw away the Roserade when he really didn't need to. And because of the success that the Linoon had in his earlier game, it feels like in his build he pigeonholed himself into the Linoon win condition, which doesn't look fantastic when you're going up against a Steelix. JG did throw away the Steelix to the Altaria, but and he seems to have majorly disrespected the Shaman here. And we talk about how Shaman is really strong, but I think the big mistake is not bringing the Abomasnow. I think if he had Abomasnow in one of these slots over potentially like the Magneton, I think he should definitely have brought Abomasnow over Magneton, because it would have been able to pick off Shaman with Ice Shard, been a great grass resist for his team, and a great breaker and stuff like that. I think this is something Lucas should definitely reconsider if he does go against JG again in the playoffs. As the Abomasnow bring. I'm shocked that JG won this game, if we're being honest, because if we go back to like turn 1, so turn 2 he kills Espeon, so he's just up 1-0 for nothing. He eats the fake out, so that's good for JG. Then he gets up Toxic Spike on the switch to Steelix. Like, this is a commanding position for Lucas to be in. He's up 1 Pokemon for a whole 32% on Roserade. He's got 2 of JG's Mons revealed, and he's got a Toxic Spike up here. And he sleeps the Steelix, which I guess makes sense. That's fine, Lumberry. But staying in here, I guess he wants damage on the Steelix for the Linoon, and that's why he's playing it this way, because his whole team's built around this Linoon win condition. But I think he could have played very differently and not gone for that. But even here, I think like Roserade was so good in this matchup, especially with the Espeon already dead. I don't think this makes sense. He just didn't build for Shaman at all in his draft, the way we're looking at it. He's picking up the Steelix here, which is great. And even this position looks very, very good for him. He's up 1 Mon. He's got the Toxic Spike up. I don't think he needed to make this. I guess he didn't expect the HP Ice. HP Grass obviously looks... Wait, no, but Raichu does get access to Grass Knot. So, I don't know why that blinked on me earlier. Obviously, Raichu gets a ton of moves. But, I guess maybe he's expecting the Rindo Berry when he switches out here. I think hurting the Swampert definitely looks good. And here, I think a close combat would have been better than Fake Out. We already discussed that. Yeah, even this position looks pretty good. He's up at Mon, but he's just he has no switch-ins to Shaman. He just lets Shaman kill whatever he wants. And I think another thing is the Roserade. He played it for a utility, as a lead and a hazard setter, and he didn't get up rocks, which would have also been very nice if he's trying to play on Linoon to try to weaken things with stealth rocks, obviously, or even regular spikes would have been great. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he didn't bring regular spikes. Would have done a lot of damage. And then the Azelf is also a pure setup. Like, Linoon is very frail, and Shaman is very strong. And Seed Flare is a very strong move. So yeah, he just kills him through the screens. He doesn't even have to crit. So yeah, I think Lucas's mistake is in prep, I'd say. I don't think that JG outplayed him. but JG picked up the win, so congratulations to him. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to the next video.